Good morning, everyone. My name is Joan Miller and I live just outside Desert Martin with Willie, my husband. We have 2 children, both married, and 4 beautiful grandchildren. Although this is where I now live, I was brought up near Castlewellan in County Down with my parents and my brother, and we lived on a farm. I don't remember much about my life until I was about 4, when my parents noticed I was limping. So I had a condition in my right hip which needed hospitalisation. Following consultation with my GP and an orthopaedic consultant, I was admitted to Green Island Hospital. That was near Carrickfergus. And there I had to stay for almost 18 months. Now, Carrickfergus was 50 miles from my home. Travel wasn't just so easy then. Visiting was also different. Parents were not allowed to stay with their children, only at visiting times. My parents visited me every Sunday. My brother was only allowed to visit once a month. I had 2 aunts who faithfully visited on alternate Thursdays, and I had an uncle who lived in Carrickfergus, and he came in and out. Now, occasionally my parents visited during the week, but not that often. And it was there in hospital when I first remembered hearing that I needed Jesus to be in my life. A gentleman named Tom Chuchin came into the hospital. His son was also a patient in there, and he used to gather us up in the corner. We pushed our beds up into the corner, and he conducted a little Sunday school, and I'll never forget that, us sitting around him, and he was a very faithful man. Following discharge from hospital, although my parents weren't Christians, my brother and I were sent along to the local gospel hall Sunday school. And there was a lady there who used to leave one of her little cushions on the seat for me because she knew my leg was still hurting, an act of kindness. And I clearly remember that. I can remember when I was about 8, my parents both got saved. Now, and I was aware of that because there were some changes in our home. Not that much, but there were some. I continued, my brother and I continued to go to the local Sunday school. But when I was about 10, one of my cousins got saved, and I remember my mum telling me about this. And although I was very young, I did know that I needed Jesus to come into my heart and into my life. God was speaking to me, and one day I said to my dad, I'd love to become a Christian. So he took me up to my bedroom and talked me through what I needed to do. Talked me through and prayed with me. And that very night, very simply, as a young girl of 10, I admitted I was a sinner. I acknowledged I was a sinner. And I asked Jesus into my heart and into my life. And he did come in. Of course, my family were very pleased and delighted and told different people who went to our local assembly. The next Monday I went to school, and the first person I told in the school, I remember clearly going up and telling my teacher that I had got saved. And her first retort was, I hope you'll be able to keep it. I wasn't too long on my journey when I realised I wasn't the one who was doing the keeping, because Jesus said in his word, I will never leave you or forsake you. At the age of 17 and a half, I left school and went to the Royal Victoria Hospital to train as a nurse. That was the year the trouble started. There were many challenges with that, me a country girl living in Belfast. The first week I was in the hospital, it's quite a lonely experience going. I didn't know anyone at all. But the first week I was in the hospital, I met a girl in the lift, and we got talking, and she said to me, are you a Christian? I said, yes, I am. And we became firm friends after that and continued on to Aberdeen, where we did our midwifery together. There were others who had an influence on me during my career, many of them, but one was a ward sister, and she had house up in the Grosvenor Road, and we used to go up there on Thursday evening. She had a wee Bible study in her home with different nurses. And also the Nurses Christian Fellowship. The girl who led it at that time was a very good influence on me as well. There were many Christians in our group, which was great, and I made many Christian friends. To any young people who may be listening, I urge you to get into your scripture unions, Christian unions, at university or wherever you find yourself, and surround yourself with Christian friends. As I look back at my time in Belfast during the Troubles, I can say I never once felt afraid in spite of all we saw and heard. No counselling in those days. Following our marriage, I came to live in my present home, 70 miles from Newcastle, the land of my birth. Our first child, Deborah, was born a healthy baby, and then our second baby, Ruth, was born, and although we knew before her birth that her condition was probably not compatible with life, it didn't ease the pain after she died. There was a lady in our church who had a similar experience, and she was on my doorstep straight away, and I'll never forget her for it. David, our third baby, was born a healthy boy, and we were thankful for that. I continue to work as a community midwife in my own area throughout my life, and I thank God for the opportunities He gave me to share my faith through good times and bad. I would like to leave a verse with you, Proverbs 3, verse 5 and 6. Trust in the Lord with all thy heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge Him, and He will direct your paths. I know I may have failed many times, but I know for sure Jesus has never failed me. Trust Jesus today, because we're not promised tomorrow. Thank you for listening.